Welcome to the UDP broadcast, a podcast where a group of friends get together and discuss gaming related topics and offer both informed and uninformed opinions. I'm Luminary, and I'm accompanied today by my co host, the Nordic Cajun,
Roll for initiative, please.
Imee, the Hotel Barcode,
Hell yeah, I'm broadcasting live from a hotel.
and from the Emerald Dream and fresh off the raid wagon, Crit Chicken.
Yo, at least I keep people up.
Eh,
That's what she's. I get it. I get it. 50 to keep me minus.
All right. But episode 45. I can't believe it. We're almost to like half of 100 of these things.
That's how that math works, yeah.
Yep, indeed.
Indeed. So, been good strides. High stakes relationships. Before we get into that, Imee has special things to do.
Yes. So for every ad you watch, bits donated, gift subs, subscriptions, all that fun stuff, 10% of all that revenue goes to the Trevor Project, and Ping has some details on the Trevor Project.
The Trevor Project is the leading
Ping.
organization working to end LGBTQ youth suicide in the US and beyond. The non-profit operates several programs to help prevent and respond to the public health crisis of LGBTQ youth suicide, including 24/7 free crisis services, research, advocacy, education, and peer support.
We will never get that wrong again, ever.
Nope.
And
Praise
From
Ping.
May 21. Just a reminder, this is an opinion show and does not represent official company policies or views. In other words, we're poor, so don't sue us.
I like how he accentuated we're poor, so don't sue us. Thank you, Ping.
Thank you, Ping.
yes.
So, on with the show. What are we going to work with today? A lot
From
of the...
Bomb Redeemer. On tonight's episode of Luminary Weekly, a group of friends talk about things and give both their informed and uninformed opinions about those things. The hosts are Luminary Weekly, the Nordic Cajun, Imee, Crit Chicken, and me, Ping the Cat.
That's awesome. I should just have that on lockdown. Welcome to the UDP broadcast. And now
That's right.
Ping. Just like
We're being replaced by the Ping.
From
The
Crit
Ping is
Chicken.
going to just say the entire show for us. We're
Helicopter
going to sit
goes
here
soy,
and just
soy,
laugh.
soy, 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 soy.
Oh, that's the wrong text-to-speech person.
All right.
Soy,
so
soy,
for
soy,
the show,
soy, soy.
So Roblox. How about that Roblox wanting to become a dating app?
Oh, yeah. So...
Oh, God.
Why don't you lead us off, Lumi?
All right. So, other than being the most clickbaity title ever, the image that they showed was point number 8, which is where they can see Roblox becoming the next dating app. I'm already having problems with a platform that is geared towards children and child developers and things like that, opening themselves up to adult services such as dating and business meetings and things like that. There's already a child predator problem on most platforms, but giving it a special place. And I personally have a problem with it because anybody can say they're whatever age. There's predators everywhere. And mind you, I'm not saying that it's a bad idea because of that, but there's nothing stopping children from going, oh yeah, no, I'm totally over 18. And getting themselves in places they're not supposed to be.
Yeah,
do you know the UN? The UN has a definition of what an adult is. That is anyone over the age of 18. And this thing says you can do adult dating things and other shit 17 plus. Do you not see a fucking problem there?
You're acting like there's not literally a plethora of sites, apps, and engines that you could use for the situation, but you're going to attach it to a predominantly kids game. And there's no scenario, there's no world, there's no multiverse where this becomes a good idea.
No, these are underage children. If for whatever fucking reason, someone coerces them into doing something, holy Christ, Roblox is looking at some serious liability.
Oh no, they're
Ooh.
just
It's
the
like Club
platform.
Penguin 2.0.
Yeah, they need to put that. If they're going to do a dating app, fine. It's got to be behind an 18 plus paywall.
Yes. It has to. It has to be. It's the only way to
You
not only
can't
keep the
say
kids
we're
safe.
going to make a dating site for kids,
No, absolutely
but
not.
that's what they're doing.
Yeah. The
They're
actual
making a dating site for children.
verbatim
Or
for
why?
number 8 is like for 17 plus verified people and 17 plus experiences. Thousands of adults will meet for the first time in Roblox dating experiences and subsequently form real life relationships.
So this is the problem. Thousands of adults. You are legally worldwide recognized a child if you're still under 18. That wording is very problematic.
Oh yeah. It's just a
The
problem.
United Nations recognizes an adult as 18. These people are calling children 17 plus as adults. There's a fucking problem with that.
There's some other things with this that also come to mind. It makes me think that they're trying to shape themselves up to be a metaverse or a universal metaverse where you can do all things telecommute wise. Here's the entire list, right? Um, they're looking over the next 5 years, I think is what it said. A Roblox developer will be valued at 1 billion. A musician will perform live to over 1 million people in Roblox using a phone for motion capture. A top fashion designer will be discovered on Roblox without having any experience or physical fashion. Roblox will be a frequent communication channel for my family. I can kind of see that because I already have like a family Discord that I have, so all of us can talk and whatnot, regardless of distances in one area and share memes. So that kind of makes sense, but even still, I don't like Roblox, so I'll probably never log in. On top of
But
their platform is just not secure enough for me.
they already did that in Second Life.
I just brought that up with the pre-show. It's like they're trying to do Second Life.
Yeah, because they've done concerts in freaking Second Life. There were people who made a living doing those kind of pseudo concerts in freaking Second Life. There are people who made a living making clothes for Second Life. Everything you just said has been done.
Oh yeah,
But they want to make it into square blocked characters.
Well, I understand. I'm not even done with this list because they're talking about a lot of that, right? So there's talking about some Roblox creators will make more money from selling physical merchandise on Roblox than virtual merchandise, which is a possibility. We will share the universal civility metric and show that for most players it increases over time. Roblox employees will spend more time using Roblox for remote meetings than with video. I can only imagine
Oh
going
my
to a
god.
meeting in
Oh my
Roblox.
god. No, wait, Lumi, story time, story time.
Go for it.
Okay. I used to work with a guy that was we're gonna call him a boomer. The guy's name. And he was trying to create this himself.
Mhm.
It was a 3D platform. I cannot think of the name of the system we were using, but he was trying to make a 3D virtual game that allowed you to actually go to school in it and have the class inside of the game so you can have all your stuff remotely from home. And of course, he didn't know what the internet really was and how to actually execute and sell anything. But everybody has been trying to do this since 2014.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're going to do it in Roblox, of all
Mhm.
things.
Well,
I agree with Bombardier. Second Life is much better. I say we all go back to Second Life.
well, in Roblox, the tools are just easy enough to use for anyone to create that type of environment, and with some of the implementation that they're doing for their corporate businesses, it might actually apply. So I can see it being a thing, and kids already play Roblox.
Yeah, but they
So,
take a massive cut of what the quote unquote kids would be. I mean, they have like job listings on the Roblox stuff that pays in Roblox or Robux or whatever.
mhm.
And it doesn't pay a lot or whatever from what I was looking into. I tried to bring this up to my son, and he's like, "No, no, that's wrong. They get paid more than that."
Mm,
I'm like, dude, I'm like, look at the CEO of Roblox to begin with. I mean, that guy is like total boomer. He knows what he's doing.
Mhm.
He looks like a um
Douche.
um he wouldn't give you a Happy Meal, let's just say that.
Yes.
I don't think he's in it for the kids. I think he's in it for the money, and he likes preying on kids
And
because
that's pretty much corporate America as in a nutshell.
Yep. So
I mean,
because
look.
like Roblox is like crack cocaine. Like I had to like swat my son down from like paying for any more like $50 gift
Oh.
cards or redemptions for Roblox. I'm like, stop it. Stop contributing to it. Stop.
pretty much, you have to go learn to pay bills soon. Stop it.
No,
Nah,
I broke it down for him this way. Do you want car in future or do you want currency for a game that might get shut down in future?
But mom, I could buy a car and insert random name simulator instead and drive everywhere in it.
no,
Yeah.
no, no,
Like
no,
here's
not
a
done.
here's a Robux or Roblox simulation. You get job when you and actually you get job next year. Wow.
That's awesome. So yeah, that's the list. Like, I think the last one on this list that actually means anything aside from the K through 12 curriculum with Roblox is a Fortune 500 company will use Roblox experience as part of their recruiting process. I can't imagine myself going to a Roblox meeting for
I'm
an interview.
saying,
Fuck no.
I'm saying,
Fuck
dude.
no.
What are we gonna do today, guys? Oh, I don't know. Let's build stuff in Roblox.
So, oh, we got to hire this guy. This guy's pimped out in all the Roblox gear. Check him out. He's got the feather in the hat and the cat on the shoulder and the wings and the fancy flaming sword. Yeah, no, we got to hire him for working at whatever.
Listen, I thought it was cool that, Lil Nas X had his concert in there. It's like really cool engagement. Nice. Nobody really did it before. Cool. Trendsetter. But I think it's just kind of blown up to unhealthy portions.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's definitely got a foothold with the youth. So technically, somebody's going to think this is a great idea, especially if businesses are looking to attract younger recruits that know how to use this platform. But then there's like also the learning curve of the people doing the interviews knowing how to use the platform too. But yeah, that was like the 5-year prediction. They had one for the previous 5 years and said the company said it achieved 58% of its goals, including 1 million concurrent players in a Roblox game. Having a Roblox developer earn more than 50 million in a year, and having 100-person company developing on Roblox. So, I mean, there's some huge milestones there, and that's just one of however many success stories that they have. But it's also like rolling the dice with content creation like we do. You know, whether it's live streaming or YouTube, it's really just.
Speaking of rolling the dice and Roblox and stuff like that,
Mhm.
why don't they just make like screw Roblox? Why don't they just make a Baldur's Gate MMO so this way if someone wants nutty time they can toggle the nudity filter? What? What?
Oh,
Asterion needs some loving too.
we made it back to Maine. Awesome.
Yes, we
Well, I'm
stay
being
on name.
serious. I mean, they want a dating site. Well, think about like open customization, toggling of the, you know, roll for initiative, critical failure on seduction. Oh no. What happened, honey? I'm sorry I can't perform my bardic duties tonight.
No, please.
I'm sorry.
From email
Just
21. Did you know that all
At least I'll
antacids
teach
contain
people how
formic
to,
acid?
play
This makes it
D&D.
the most popular antacid by
There's
far.
enough Rule 34 out there to know what's going to happen
Thanks.
there, honey.
Listen, it's bad enough that I know that there's Rule 34 of Roblox.
I didn't need to know
No,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Listen,
No,
I
no.
found out the hard way.
that.
Ugh.
Well, that's all right. Let's move on to.
From Bomb Redeemer.
Uh-oh.
That's nasty.
That's nasty.
Thank
Oh
you, baby.
no! Oh no! You didn't.
He did, yes.
He's like, nah, that couldn't be. Oh,
All right, let's
That's
move.
okay.
Let's move
Let's
on to some of the other topics that we
carry
have
on.
here. Because we have our resident union man or union barcode here for some of the other topics that we have going on.
From Bomb Redeemer. Before we move
that
on,
seems like a great moniker for him. Like at night, he just becomes super Iron Man. He just takes care of all the unions across the land. That needs to be a comic somewhere.
Oh,
Well,
it's so fucking easy to treat your employees properly. Stairs in Skull and Bones Dev. Ubisoft in Singapore. Ubisoft Singapore specifically. What the fuck is wrong with you? So currently, if you don't know, Ubisoft Singapore is facing union action over pay and workplace treatment. So they're facing union organization by the country's creative media and publishing union, CMPU. Kotaku ran an article stating that the union voiced concerns regarding workplace treatment, equality, and pay. If you want to keep people, that's the best way to, make sure shit doesn't go sideways is to treat them equally, be nice and kind to them, and pay them well. And pay doesn't necessarily mean money; it also means benefits. So it goes on to say here, at the request of the CMPU, a branch of Singapore's National Trade Union Congress, a ballot exercise is being conducted this week among the eligible team members in the studio to determine whether formal recognition should be granted. And of course, Ubisoft is pulling out the usual corporate tagline of Ubisoft believes in the importance of listening to our employees and fostering an open dialogue. And we believe that we have appropriate sorry, I have to stop laughing here for a second. Appropriate initiatives in the workplace, appropriate mechanisms and initiatives in place to continue creating a great workplace. That is a hard fucking thing to say, not laughing without just wanting to vomit. Let me try this again. Ubisoft believes in the importance of listening to our employees and fostering an open dialogue, and we believe that we have appropriate mechanisms and initiatives in place to continue creating a great workplace. Now, here's the problem with that. If you had all that shit, they wouldn't be unionizing, you fucko. It astounds me that you can sit there and say, "Oh, we have great mechanisms in place," and yet people are like, "Dude, we are being treated so shitty. We need a union to stand up for ourselves." Like, goddamn, do people actually buy that shit when a company says, "Oh, we have we investigated ourselves. We didn't find a problem."
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I really want a T-shirt that says it. Common sense is a superpower.
Common sense is like deodorant. Those who need it don't use it.
That's another good one-liner. Anyway, we need a T-shirt line with that kind of crap.
Ubisoft Singapore was previously accused in 2021 of sustaining a toxic culture in an expose that was published back then. The country's Tripartite Alliance for Fair and Progressive Employment Practice subsequently investigated the studio, with the publisher reporting that the body concluded systems were in place to handle any misconduct reports. Right. Ubisoft Skull and Bones has also lost its third creative director since development began in 2013. So, three creative directors in 10 years. Something seems off. And then you have people saying, "Holy shit, we need to unionize because we're not getting paid right and we're being treated like shit." And then a few years ago, you were found out to be fostering a culture of toxicity and shit. But don't worry, we have the mechanisms to look after ourselves. Fuck you. Just straight up fuck you. I'm tired of this shit. Stop lying.
And it's going around a lot right now. I mean, look at what's going on in Hollywood right now with the writer's strike and the Actors Guild.
Actors. Yeah,
and
that
now
leads us into the next thing that the Screen Actors Guild is looking to have the some of the video game voiceover artists join the strike.
Yep, because that actually
there, but yeah.
that actually kind of like steps into our territory because I don't know if this scenario would actually happen, but somebody I saw it. I'll go ahead and admit it. I saw that on TikTok. TikTok led me down a rabbit hole with all this writer strike stuff, and one guy came up and he said about if the video game section is next with voice actors and artists and all that good stuff to the point where if they band together strong enough, you won't really be able to actually stream a lot of the games because there's so many penalties going along with not being able to push out the right product because they can't do anything because these companies will lock everything down. And it's a scary thought that they have that much control, but yet they can't get anything done because they're not going to pay their workers at the same time.
Well,
And
here's the thing: like companies don't realize, and they refuse to understand that your talent is what makes you money. And if your talent goes away, you don't have a money stream. And they keep thinking that, oh, we'll just find the next whatever, the next Tom Cruise or whatever. No, you can't rely on that because that is not a reliable business model. And if you try and go to shareholders and say, oh, we haven't found the next Sean Connery, but we're still looking, shareholders are going to get pissed off pretty soon.
oh, absolutely. I mean, look what happened to not Michael, Hamill, not Hamill. Frick, who plays
Mark
Superman?
Hamill.
Yeah, him.
Oh, no. No,
No,
Mark Hamill didn't do Superman.
Mark
he
Hamill
was
did the Joker.
no, okay, the guy that plays Superman and
Cavill.
Witcher.
Henry
Him,
Cavill.
him.
Yes.
Like he was signed on. He got signed on to go over there to do Superman again, and so he was so excited about it, he actually stepped down as the Witcher. And then they all of a sudden said, "No, we want to find a younger Superman and start talking about the younger version of the story." And they drop him, and he's already dropped as the Witcher. So now he's sitting there with his I hate to say his dick in his hand, like y'all, I got fucked one way and screwed the other. They don't care about the people that they're bouncing around like
Mm-hmm.
objects, and it's
Yep.
terrible. Like that goes from the actors to the writers to the artists to the social media workers. Like, everybody is getting screwed over in Hollywood right now. And the only people who are profiting
Mm-hmm.
off of it are the top dogs, and they're
Yep.
trying to spin it to where they're trying to point the blame back at the people who are trying to just get a livable wage out of the work they're doing and trying to blame them for the reason that nothing's getting done in Hollywood right now when they have the stranglehold on all the money.
Well, and what's interesting is leading to the next topic with SAG-AFTRA or AFTRA, sorry. They voted unanimously to include members who work in the video game industry. So a lot of publishers are going to be affected by this, and some of the companies involved in the negotiations for voice actors are Activision, Disney, EA, Epic Games, Insomniac, Take-Two, and Warner Brothers. And those aren't exactly small studios. And they just want to be able to live. They're was it the Screen Actors Guild published a report of how much their contract demands would cost studios. Every one of them was less than one. What was it? 0.10. Sorry, 0.11%, um, except for Netflix, that was 0.26% of annual profits. So you're looking less than like about 10% of 1%, 0.1%, 0.1 fucking percent for an entire year. That's how much the contract's going to cost.
I mean, speaking of voice actors, remember what happened to the voice actor for Bayonetta?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
they did her dirty.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then you look at Mick Gordon, who did the soundtrack to the Doom remakes. He got fucked over by Activision to the point where they actually took his original work and chopped it up all into this disgusting 128 Napster quality thing we call that soundtrack. I think they're trying to
Even
call it that.
even the lady who did the voice acting for Coco, and Coco. She got screwed over before she passed away. So
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's disgusting. I mean, the amount of money and benefits they're looking for is less than 0.25%. For fuck's sakes.
well, if okay, the backstory on the grandma who actually had Coco in her image or whatever. Um, if you haven't read up on it, look into it. It's really skeezy.
I'll have to. There's all kinds of weird stuff. I remember the Bayonetta story that you came up with. There was a lot of controversy around that, and they pretty much dragged that lady. Um, they dragged that lady out. I mean, it sounded like they were being honest, but it was kind of all over the place because they replaced her with the big name voice actress in the business, the one who you pretty much, if you heard her voice, I think her name was just like Jennifer something or other. But she was also female Commander Shepard. She's every major um, female character voice you've ever seen. I noticed she got some hate for that too, and she was like, "I'm just trying to do my job, man." And while it's true, I still am curious of what's going on with the Bayonetta side and why that was a thing. Like it was never made clear, and then it just kind of got swept under the rug until you literally brought it up right now, Crit. So I have to go back and look at that and see how that actually turned out.
It's just so disheartening and frustrating that so many industries are being impacted. So many, and I don't mean just like film. I mean the carpenters, the gaffers, the sound people, the electricians, caterers, assistants, artists, rotoscopers, like the whole gamut of whether it's video game production, movie, or TV production. All those people, every one of those small industries that tie into the entertainment industry, are all getting fucked over by a couple guys that just want to be able to sit around and jerk off on more piles of money.
Not to mention the ones that are like, oh, well, now we're going to use AI to capture your voices. So when you pass away, we'll still be making money on you while you don't get shit.
Yeah, and that's part of what the video game subgroup is looking for, is protections against exactly that, because they want to be able to say, this is my voice. You can't just use it however you want. You can use it in what I recorded it for. You can't just make shit up and use it for that. Because I record voice lines for, say, a video game. I don't want you to use it to, endorse a car sale. Like, no, it's my
Yeah.
fucking voice.
It's
Pissed
it's
off.
it's eerily scary too. There's been occasions like even Joe Rogan has talked on his podcast about like these fake AI ads endorsing a product he hadn't even ever heard of, like
Mm-hmm.
shilling for NFTs, the whole thing. It's
Yeah.
it's scary. Like even us doing what we're doing right now, there's enough samples of us right now that you could probably virtualize this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I will absolutely scream at people because you're a pile of shit if you do. And I hope you have like the hardest poops the rest of your life, so your ass gets ripped open every time you take a shit.
Oh, it gets worse than that. Like I don't even answer my phone anymore. I have this fancy phone, and I rarely use it for phone functions. For when people call unless I recognize the number, and it's solely because if I say any more than no, it's opening myself up to compromise to agree to whatever it is that they have, and I don't want that to happen. Any voice sampling could put us in that position, and
Yeah.
it's not fun. I don't like it. So and even still, it's just easier not to answer the phone. Well, Bloomy, why haven't you answered the phone? Because it's
I
terrifying
don't
out there.
wanna.
Yeah,
Fuck your phone.
pretty much.
text me if you need me, or as per my last email, kindly fuck off.
Yeah, if there's anything that you need,
Contact
you can leave a
if I want to
voicemail.
talk to you.
Oh man, it's like right up there with writing checks. Who the hell writes checks anymore?
The old people near my house.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So in lighter news, we can all get hoarding on the name of Baldur's Gate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. Stews and crit chicken. Why don't you explain that one there, ma'am?
What do you mean?
What's this Baldur's Gate? Changing the way that people play D&D and letting people be horny on main. What's all that about?
I don't know much about the horny on main stuff. I mean, I thought they were patching that, improving. I mean, fixing or working on that.
They were nerfing it, is what you're saying.
Nerfing, yeah.
Nerfing the horny on main?
Nerf that. Like, kind of like when a Styrian gets kicked in the butt.
In the
Or when
The,
Amy brings out the
ow.
bonk bet.
bonk, bonky, bonk, 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 bonk. So yeah, I had a look at that article you posted there, Raina, and Baldur's Gate is actually becoming a useful tool to train people how to play D&D because Baldur's Gate is based on the D&D 5th edition rules and is actually a campaign you can play on a piece of paper as well. It's kind of fun. People are learning all kinds of different ways to play the game, and the person who wrote the article normally plays a warlock, so they don't really have to worry about what is known as a spell slot. Short version is you can only cast certain spells a certain number of times before you need a giant ass nap. Warlocks, they just need a quick rest. They just need a good injection of coffee. They're good to go.
A snack and a wink and they're good to go.
Yeah, and wizards and sorcerers, they need a long rest. They need to have sleep at night in order to recharge and be able to do shit in the morning. But this game is letting people experience those other classes and really learn how to play them properly. And I'm one of them. Raina's been watching me play Baldur's Gate 3 as well. And I've been really learning how to play the rogue class because I've never played it. I've only ever played sorcerer and a fighter. And now I've got a warlock going in another campaign. So I've learned that with the rogue, before the end of my turn, the first thing I want to do is move my character to the position I want him to be in. And since I'm pretty much only ever going to do a assassin rogue, they have a really cool bonus action, like a little bonus thing you can do in your turn, called cunning action hide. So just because you're so cool, you can hide after you've moved and in your turn as an extra thing you can do. So I get them to hide, and then I snipe them with a fucking bow and arrow that does a shit ton of damage because I'm hiding and because I have advantage from that hiding spot.
Yeah, because when it comes to D&D 5e, you could literally be squatting just out of their eye range behind them, and you're considered in sneak attack range, full advantage. Plus, is it a D6 for damage for rogues? I can't remember, but
For
they did.
sneak attack, yeah, it's a D6.
And that just scales so much, especially as an assassin rogue. Like you can literally just say, "Hey, what's over there?" Stab.
I think 5th level you get an extra dice. It's like 2d6.
You can literally grab a crossbow, bypass the, the arrows or the ammo munitions in it, and just chuck it at a character and hit them prone with just a crossbow.
Yes.
Like, yay.
I mean,
in the
it's not that she's
thing,
referencing some cheese I did in the boss fight in that game at all. No, of course not. I had a boss fight that should have been pretty hard to do and a pretty tough fight. I was looking at my options and I said, "Hey, sweetie, what happens if I throw this crossbow?" And I was like, "Nah, maybe not." And she's like, "No, you should try it." So I threw the crossbow, hit the boss, knocked the boss flat on his ass. And I was like, that's brilliant. Because once you're on your back and you're prone, well, it's hard to dodge things when you're lying on the ground, right? Now everyone has an advantage to attack you. So everyone gets an advantage attacking you. The boss had already gone. I still had a couple more people to go. So I was like, what can I do with this next person who went? I was like, wait a minute. I have a sleep scroll to make people sleep. So I put the boss to sleep. And they just piled on the boss because I threw a crossbow at them and they fell over. It was brilliant. And she made such a great suggestion on doing that. It was fantastic.
You always got to live by the golden rule. You should certainly try.
Yeah, and that is, like I was saying, it is really, really cool that I can learn how to play different classes and do things in this game differently than I normally would. Because I normally play a sorcerer that all he does is shoot fireballs everywhere because he's a pyro. He likes to see everything. He wants to set the world on fire.
I mean, yeah.
Now he's like, wow, I actually have to think to progress.
I know. What?
Like, what is thinking? Like, how do? What do? How do go?
From Bomb Redeemer.
Here it comes. I got to
Set the
unmute on here.
world on fire! Exclamation mark backslash.
God damn it.
Not a single thought was
Spelling.
going through Crit's head.
Not a single thought behind those eyes.
Exactly. You understood the assignment. Have like this derpy little Crit chicken be like, whoosh.
Wow. So, should we do our sign off for Volition Studio?
From May 21.
Yeah.
Head
So,
empty. No think.
for those of you who don't know, Volition Software, they made Saints Row 1, 2, 3, and 4. They made a couple other titles that I don't remember because I only ever played Saints Row from them. I really, really, really loved Saints Row 3. Saints Row 4 was eh. They just released a new version of Saints Row early, and they also did Red Faction, which is fun. They just released a new version of Saints Row this summer. Unfortunately, it bombed. Had a whole bunch of problems in it, or sorry, it wasn't this summer, it was last year. And as a result, um, well, the studio is being restructured. So that means after 30 years, Volition is finally shutting its doors. And that really sucks because that is 30 years of games industry experience just for the company, not even counting the hundreds of people who worked there over the years. And Volition was saying, like, oh, they've had a lot of people come and go and a lot of people come back. So that says something about that company to be able to have employees join, leave for a different opportunity, and then say, you know what, I really want to come back and work for you. It's amazing and really sad at the same time because they had a lot of fun games to play.
They did.
I'm actually pretty sad about that.
Let's go over this real quick because they made some games I didn't realize that they made as a different studio. So as Parallax Software, they made Descent back in March 5th,
Yep.
1995. So Descent and
played
Descent
that game.
2. Yep. Then there's Descent Free Space as Volition. Then there's Free Space 2, Summoner, Red Faction, Summoner 2,
Mhm.
Red Faction 2, The Punisher, Saints Row, the Saints Row series. So let's see, what other franchises they have? There was a bunch of canceled stuff, but that's pretty much what they're known for. Descent, Saints Row, and Red Faction, and they did a really good job on Red Faction.
They did.
So
It's really, really sad to see such a good quality studio going under. But that's just the nature of the business. If you don't produce something that's going to, make a good return on the investment or have a positive ROI, as it's usually known, people who give you money, our investors, are going to want to jump ship, or they're going to want to find a different way to get their money's worth out of you. And unfortunately, in this case, that means Volition Software is going under, and they will cease to exist. Apparently, Embracer, who owns them currently, was shuffling around some of the staff already because of the latest version of Saints Row back in 2022 not being reviewed very well and having a poor critical response. So it's really shitty. My favorite thing about Saints Row 3 was the vehicle handling. Felt like you were driving a vehicle. When I play Grand Theft Auto 5, I feel like I'm driving on marbles. It's poor handling. The aircraft are trash to fly. Helicopters are garbage. Like the flight controls and the driving controls are trash. And yes, Saints Row 3 doesn't have as big a storyline as Grand Theft Auto 5 does, but it had much better controls. And everything was much easy, like much more responsive and more fluid. I'm actually sad. I'm really sad about this. as you may or may not be able to tell.
I mean, and then hopefully the ones that are in that studio and they do shut down and they don't get a chance to continue to work in any capacity. I hope that they find a way to come together and at least make something new, because
Yeah.
we've seen old old bros in the gaming industry come back to create spiritual successors to successful games down the road. One of the more recent ones I can think of are how a bunch of Rare employees got together and made the spiritual successor to Banjo Kazooie when they made what was the name of that game? The one with the iguana and the bat. It's frick, I gotta look it up now. Anyway, they got together and they the studio had gone away. There was no making a new Banjo Kazooie because, well, let's face it, the Banjo Kazooie 3 was trash. They didn't have any way of making that game any better than it was. It was just absolutely terrible. But Banjo Kazooie 1 and Banjo Kazooie 2, or Banjo Tooie as it were just beautiful, beautiful games made by Rare. And to see these guys come out of retirement to make a game just and the same art style, the same like kind of humor and stuff as Banjo Kazooie was a breath of fresh air for a lot of people. Let's see, spiritual successor to Banjo and Kazooie. It's the name's on the tip of my tongue. It's an adorable game, and I've
Oh, that's the one with the chameleon, isn't it?
yes,
Yeah, I know.
Ukulele. That's the name of the game.
Mhm.
Ukulele. It's basically Banjo Kazooie just with different characters, and it was a good game. It really was, and it's just I hope that these guys, since they're getting told don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, I hope they can find a way to come back together and do something on the same vein, if not something completely unique, because that's a bad rap, man.
Yeah. Well, my salute to them is thank you so much for where Grand Theft Auto became too serious. They provided me with a large purple dildo on a stick that caused blunt damage throughout the city. So,
It's called aptly the penetrator.
yes, it's great. They even had this one weapon that was there was like an alien anal probe, and you like ran up, you rammed it up their brown eye, and you ran around with a person stuck to the top, like it's just like a lollipop, right? And you pulled the trigger and it launched them into the air. You had an effective people launcher, and as long as there were people around, you had ammunition.
You know what that reminds me of? The cat silencer from Postal 2.
From the Nordic Cajun. I think a dildo sword should do both bludgeoning and piercing damage.
Not familiar with that.
What, Saints Row 3?
No, the cat
We
sound.
will. Postal 2, if you use cat food to lure kittens or cats nearby, you can pick them up as an item. And then if you've got a shotgun, a rifle, you can take the cat, stick it on the end of the barrel, and that becomes your silencer until the cat goes flying off after a few rounds. And the cat gets really angry and starts screaming at you as you're shooting rounds through the cat silencer.
I liked it better when the cats were the gun, and they pretty much yan their way to like shooting rainbows and bullets and stuff. I think that was a much better alternative. Postal 2 had, I think we actually played that on stream a couple episodes back when you were like, I got it to work. And then there was a lot of stuff that wasn't okay for today's standards that was okay then. It's like,
I was like, oh, right, this thing is pure cringe. What's really funny is there's Postal 4, and when you go to the company who makes it running with scissors, they talk about, we made Postal 1 and 2, or 1 and 2, and Postal 4, and in brackets, there was never a third. Because Postal 3 was done by a different company, and they desecrated the franchise.
So that's the episode we don't talk about.
Nah, we can talk about it. It's pure cringe. Inappropriate, pure cringe.
Not that what we saw the other day wasn't inappropriate. But...
No, absolutely not. I turned off the weenies.
The what?
When I was doing the Baller Skate on stream, last week. I turned off the weenies so you couldn't see anything.
Oh no, I thought we were still talking about Postal. All right, so
Oh yeah, Postal was like a couple months ago.
oh yeah. Never have I ever been uncomfortable by having gameplay on my screen. God, that
I would be more comfortable playing Leisure Suit Larry on stream than Postal 2.
Leisure Suit Larry was a lot of
Leisure
fun.
Suit Larry.
It was a lot of fun, like the old Sierra ones, not the new weird ones. In fact, I think if you go to the Internet Archive, you can still play them.
Probably.
Yeah.
Although I will be, I wonder if I can do it on my phone. I'm going to try and see if I can play Cross Country Canada on my phone.
Well, I think we're approaching the end here. We got about 10 minutes left, and then we got to send Cajun to Sleepy Byland.
I gotta go see. I
Yep.
got work in the morning.
So,
Yeah, and I eventually have to go to sleep too because work in morning as well.
all right, cool. Let's
Yep,
wrap
and I
this
got a
up.
flight to catch tomorrow.
Bye.
Crit Chicken, what you got going on
Uh,
besides healing your ass off?
I'm unlocking hard mode at work.
Yes.
Huh?
I'm ruffling a lot of feathers.
Say it ain't so.
Oh, it's so
Is this
it's so
the
fun.
Anti-Safety Council job?
Yeah,
or-
it's the Safety Council of Doom.
Yeah, like, hey, we want you to do this thing. We feel you would do great. You're like, okay, boy, am I going to do great at this? You're like, whoa, not so great, Crit.
Here I go again, guys. It's like, oh no, she's making another report. Oh no, another one. And I'm like, we have an imposter.
I'm so happy that you're doing that. Keep that up. Keep them on their toes.
At the same
Absolutely.
time, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, but at the same time, I'm like, do it, do it, do it. What are they gonna do? Do it.
Walk on eggshells with high heel boots or steel-toed bludgeoning. All up to you.
But yeah, staying safe. Remember, safety first, safety always, as said by Crit.
Indeed.
Yes.
Barcode, how are you? What are you doing? And what are we doing this week?
Well, I have been in another province attending a conference on learning on how to do things and stuff with the other things and the things that do the stuff. It has been very, very helpful training, and I'm hopping on a flight tomorrow. My flight has been delayed, which is amazing, and that absolutely solidifies that I will not be able to play in the newest D&D campaign I was supposed to start doing tomorrow night. It is a Curse of Strahd campaign. However, it is Curse of Strahd with a twist, and that twist is titled as "That Time I Was Pulled into Another World to Deal with an Undead Simp Again." The premise
boy.
being is we've already fought Strahd, and now we're pulled back into that universe, and we have to figure out why the fuck am I back here.
Iskai
Yeah.
Adventures with Amy and the Murderous Robot. I love it.
Well, and the best part is I'm actually playing IME 15 or 1111 because binary is awesome. There's 10 types of people who know how to count in binary, those who do and those who don't. And yeah, he's a pyromaniac who only ever sets things on fire.
Very nice.
I mean, to be
Yes.
fair, I can count to potato.
Yes. All right.
So
Well, cool.
yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
All right, cool. So Amy's got campaigns and provinces, and he's learning stuff. Cajun, it's our turn. What are we doing this week?
Well, this week is DLC week for Scarlet and Violet. I got the TL match dropping on Wednesday, so that's going to be my glorious obsession for probably the foreseeable future until I get the story done and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Tuesday night is all about shiny hunting and prep for the DLC dropping on Wednesday. So I think we said we were going to put a pause on the Nuzlocke this week just so I can get that first day excitement out the way.
Absolutely. You are the Pokemon, so we got to make sure that you have the Poke things on lockdown. I mean, because you're going to get new shinies, and that's it. You got to get through that story.
That's all that matters is the shiny. I could care less about the damn story. Give me more shinies.
The story sucks anyway. I just play for the shinies.
That's right. They're giving me 200 more Pokemon to go hunt. But then Thursday I won't be. We're going to be no live because I have a 12-hour shift on Friday. Unfortunately, that I had to pick up.
No worries.
So it is what it is. But then the following week, it will be birthday celebrations, and I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. So I got to start planning for that.
Okay. Yeah, no, we need to plan for that. If there's any way I could join or help, or if you just want to run solo, by all means, or if there's something you want to implement, let me know.
Oh, I have ideas.
uh, at the end of the following week, I will be on vacation for 2 weeks, and I'll be doing the most creative things I know how to do, which is probably napping and procrastinating. Um,
Amazing.
Lots of Starfield still to play. I'm going to keep Cajun Country, or Cajun Country. I'm keeping Cajun Country, Cajun. You can't have it anymore.
Hey!
I'm going to be keeping Cajun Company for his shiny hunt, and then it's going to be all solo work for Cajun. I might sit in and listen to his excitement while we do that, so we can hang out on Cajun stream on Wednesday as he discovers the wonders of what Paldea's new expansion has to offer.
Yes. Bring that teal mask here, boy.
Pretty much. Other than that, I'll be working on more Ping the Cat redeems and see if I can do some cool stuff or other things I could do with Biku Bot to enhance the experience. Enhancement, man. So,
Enhance.
Upgrades, people.
Enhance.
Upgrades.
Just print the damn picture.
From Bomb Redeemer.
hold on.
I'm going to continue to lose the rest of my life to the amazing, wonderful game from Almighty Master God Lord Todd Howard
Maybe we
and
can
Bethesda
retweet,
Studios, known as
redeem
Starfield.
some
Yeah, I
treats.
agree, Mom. Oh, treats?
Treats.
Yeah, how would I work that? I'll figure it out. Because there's two different programs. So there's TITS, which is Twitch integrated throwing system.
You heard that right.
Yeah, and that's how Jalen, you can throw Pop Tarts, and I think I've got if you ever go to Technomancer, throws like fried chicken and marshmallow hearts. Seraphina's stream also throws hearts everywhere for stuff. That's normally at the streamer. It might work. Yeah, it totally could work. But right now I have Ping just popping up. He doesn't persist. Still trying to figure out the details on how I want that to work. But yeah, we can totally do something. You've got ideas. You ping them to me. I'll see if I can make it happen. If you've seen it somewhere else, chances are I can make it happen.
Ping is a
I'll say ping
functional
it to ya.
kicker.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Ping it to ya.
Yes, ping it to me. Ping it to me. So, speaking of ping, I think that's it. Let's get our adult selves to go prepare to adult for another day. And
I don't wanna.
we will see everyone next week for another fantastic, exciting, riveting episode of the UDP broadcast.
Don't send me back. Don't send me
And I'll
back.
be back home.
Hello.
All right, stream markers set. All right, guys.
Oh,
So long, chat.
oh, before I forget, new Hell of a Boss is up.
Ooh.
AFC.
I love that small. Ooh. Is that Homer Simpson that does that?
No, it's a gnome. It's a little meme that happened like not too long ago. It just and that's it.
That they also had in Hell of a Boss
Oh, nice.
during the Christmas, I think, episode.
I need to watch that Hell of a Boss. I saw it on my timeline. I just didn't have a chance to watch it today. Need to watch.
You're like, I need it.
Need it in my life while we're waiting for Has Been Hotel to come out.
And we've also been watching like The Vampire Reginald.
Oh, very nice.
Yep.
All
That
right.
was fun.
All right, chat. I am turning off the stream. You folks have a great night, and we'll see you potentially tomorrow for some more Starfield, or potentially see my splash screen where I'm not online. So, have a good night, everyone.